Me stealing all your glory.
BSA Air Rifle.
Kids version as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's still cock.
I know what it is. It's a. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't break it. Don't break it. Clean up that will.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a 1950s BSA Cadet.
So we're just unscrewing the screw near the trigger guard. Seems to come out alright. Next screw's coming out nicely. We've took the stock off, as you can see. I guess this just come out somehow, like that. Yep. This part here unscrews because this is the whole trigger action. But yeah, still got the trigger and it pulls. Pulls the trigger. I've just got to sort all this out. Just wire brushing it now. Try and get some of this black stuff off. Trigger works pretty good. Look at this. At least I don't have to get a new trigger now. It wasn't working very well earlier, but now put some oil on it. Works fine. Don't have to buy a new one now. So guys, we've got it turning. Be careful, Dad, that thing's going to pop off any second. Oh. Ooh. Yeah. There's an old spring.
There's a piston.
There's a piston. This is the trigger block. Here. Pretty cool. There's the piston here, and that's a spring. So yeah, pretty cool. So guys, we're just taking the piston washer off. We couldn't get it off, so we're having to physically melt it off now. But it's working good. So yeah, I'll bring you back later.
The back block was seriously pitted, so I'm going to try and retain the serial number, which is there, starts with a B, which is 1946, I think.
Yep, 1946 to 1947.
But it's seriously pitted. There's probably 2 or 3 mil pits in it, so I'm going to try and polish it out. Hi everybody, this is where we've got to with the gun we found in the canal. We've set about polishing all this cylinder up and the back block. It's still a little bit pitted, but I did all this with a sander, buffed it up, and it's come up quite nice. The cylinder, I've had to replace the cylinder because there was actually a hole in the cylinder. I was going to repair it, I was going to weld it up, but the hole actually fell where it threads into the back block. So we decided to replace it. Managed to buy a replacement one very cheap. All the other bits, these were all corroded. We've polished all these up.
It's looking really good, isn't it?
Polished the cylinder up. Just buff that up a little bit where it mates it to the cylinder. Had to make a new breech seal, which we're going to have to...
Piston seal.
Piston seal, sorry. And we're going to have to make a breech seal for the end of here, which will be made of leather. Where we're at with the stock, spent ages trying to get the muck and grime out of this. It was absolutely caked in black, shitty crap out the bottom of the canal. We decided to leave this finish here, which I think it's all the microbial action in the bottom of the canal which is actually eating it away. It's almost rotted away, but it's actually actually looks quite nice. I'm going to leave that. The rest of it we've sort of sanded this down best we can. So we're just about at the point of going to give it a bit of oil. So we'll see what this looks like. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. It's going to start with linseed oil, sort of thing you put on a cricket bat. So give it a bit of a coat of linseed and see how it turns out. This should soak this up really well because it's so dry. I think you'd agree that's looking quite good.
It's looking good, isn't it? It's draining the wood, it's showing.
The more layers of this you put on it, the better it'll turn out. Once the linseed's dry, this is how you would traditionally finish it. You just rub it with your hand. It sort of creates a bit of friction which heats up and gives us a bit of a polish, flattens all the fibres in the wood, raises the grain a little bit. Next step is the piston. We've got to put the piston, shrink the piston seal down to the size of the cylinder. It's slightly bigger at the moment, so we're just going to have to roll that on a piece of metal or something just to flatten it out a little bit, make it a good fit. We were going to buy a new piston washer, but to be honest with you, I don't think it's worth it. I just cut a bit out of a piece of leather, piece of harness leather. We've got to refinish this screw here. That needs re-tapping really because it's quite tight. Often they have a centre pop mark on there, which makes them difficult to remove. We managed to get it off all right, but it's still quite tight. So we're going to have to make a tool for refitting that, which is like a slotted tool to go in between that nut head there, because the the threaded rod actually comes up through there. It doesn't give you a lot of room to put it on with a screwdriver. That's come up really clean. All the internals are actually in really good condition. Didn't need a lot of cleaning up really. There was no rust in there. The internal of the original cylinder was very good. If it wasn't for the fact that it had a hole in it, and it was very badly pitted. This second-hand cylinder here is in really good condition. There's only a little mark there which we need to probably buff out, but it's all polished up nice. Back block was seriously pitted. I took a 4.5 inch floppy disk grinder to that sander and just gently sanded this off and then buffed it. It's come up reasonable. It's not perfect, but I'm not expecting, you know, to do a perfect job on it really. You could spend hours on it and make it a lot better than it is now, but it's come up really well. The barrel was seriously pitted. There was serious pitting in the barrel. I did the same again with the floppy disk. Gently sanded it out, buffed it up. It's come up lovely.
It's like a brand new dustbin now.
Internals of the barrel's actually got surprisingly good rifling. You won't see it through there, but I don't know. We've cleaned the barrel anyway, and it's rifling looks really good.
Hold that. Hold it. Stay still. Stay still. You can
I don't think you've got a shot through there.
See a little bit.
But anyway, take it from me. That's in good nick. The cocking link. This was all seriously pitted. Again, I've polished this back, but retaining the. Obviously, didn't grind this piece down because that actually fits into the cylinder, into the piston, and also this piece here, where it slots in between the cocking link on the barrel, goes into there. Just careful not to lose too much metal off that part. So all in all, it's actually turned out really well. I think it'll soon be up and running. Just got the piston bits together. Obviously made the washer. We fitted it to this insert. This is the screw. We've cleaned the screw threads up. We've actually had to make this is one of George's canal finds. It's an old screwdriver which we've actually had to make a special tool to assemble this, because it's you can't just fit it on with a normal screwdriver. It has to be a special tool. So we've had to make a tool. So I'm going to put this backing washer on here.
That's just
assemble that, put that in there, and then hopefully, if this is the right size, it should fit. Just tighten everything up. And that's a good tight fit. Perfect.
Perfect.
We need to size this down now slightly by rolling this onto something hard.
Something like that.
Hopefully put it all together and have a go.
Yes.
Just sizing the washer down to the right size for the cylinder. Slightly oversized at the moment. Flattening it down. You put a bit of a lip on it so that the metal part of the screw doesn't hit the end of the cylinder. Make it very harsh and firing. That's what you end up with.
Hang on.
I'm going to give that a clean up now. Right, we're going to lightly coat the spring in this. This is actually LT2 gun grease. And it wants a little bit on the mating face for the back of the cylinder. We're just putting a bit of grease on the spring. Just wants lightly greasing. Doesn't need a lot, just enough to take the twang out of the spring and stop it rusting. You can over grease these, so don't want much. Pop that back in the cylinder. That should be fairly tight. It's a good fit at the minute.
Careful of the table.
It's going to take a bit to bed this in. That's in.
We're in. Okay.
That's just gone in alright. With a bit of effort. A little bit of preload on the spring, which it just takes a bit of winding in.
Perfect.
We have to get this in the vise now and get it tight. Popping that back in.
Put a bit of grease on there, make it a bit easier to cock.
Really do with this in advance, but just need to make do today.
Just locking this pin in. What keeps the barrel on.
That didn't turn out very well.
Oops.
We should do it again. That's a new leather breech seal made. Oh yes, look at that.
Right.
Like new.
We've got to fire it now.
So YouTube, this is where we're at with the 1946 BSA Cadet Air Rifle that we found in the canal at Market Harbour. It's turned out really quite nice. We've not done a lot of shooting with it yet. I mean, it fires beautiful now, but we've not done a lot because we've been waiting on a trigger guard. I bought a trigger guard for it because George broke the original one. It fell over and it was propped up at the side of the railings at the side of the canal. To be honest, it was rusted away anyway, so it was not a lot of good. The trigger guard cost us £3, so it's not cost us a great deal to restore this. The only other part was the cylinder. I think we paid £16 for the cylinder, so it doesn't stand us a great deal, and it was more just to see if we could get it shooting up and running and shooting, more than anything. It's not a particularly valuable thing, but it was more a case of just to see if I could restore it and see what was possible, just to see the transformation from what was something that you looked like it wanted to be thrown in the bin to being fully restored and working. The piston seal is actually bedded in beautiful now, and it's shooting great. It's quite accurate as well. Well, it is very accurate. Really quite surprised. So we've actually had a go with it, but we didn't actually film it. But we're going to take it now up to the farm, and which is where it's going to live actually, because Lady G doesn't want a gun in the house, so she's got to live up at the farm. We'll have a bit of fun with it up there. So we're going to take it up there now and just have a go. Right, we brought the gun up to the farm just to have a bit of a go. We've got plenty of room down here. It's middle of nowhere really. So we're just going to see if it's going to shoot now. It's going to take a bit to bed the washer in, I think, the piston washer, because it's a bit tight. So we're just going to try it and see what happens.
Got a target over there on the tree. Has a reactive target on, so you might be able to see. It doesn't hit it.
We've got some pellets.
Yeah, we've got some pellets here. Oh, we can see a hit. That little spot on that target is where he hit. I've got another one there. Getting accurate. Ah, through the same hole. Oh, bullseye. And again.
That's not bad. Clear. That's not too bad. We're shooting a bit high for a start. I've just lowered the aim and went straight through the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works.
Shall we go then?
It's the sort of thing that this gun was used quite a bit in the, I think in the 50s. Used to be, I think BSA ran a series of these from about 1946. It's post-war through to the 50s. They did a bigger version of this, the Major, which was a bit longer barrel with adjustable sights. These were used quite a bit at the fairs, at the target ranges at fairs. They were quite popular, I think, in the day. I'm not that old, so I don't quite know. It's not from my era, but I did recognise it when it came out, because I used to have a Cadet Major, the bigger version of this, so I recognised it straight away. Do you want to go, George?
Yes, please. Okay then. The pellet. We can probably do tackle like this.
He's only ever allowed to use this under supervision because he's not old enough to actually own an air rifle.
Don't cut it. Oh yeah. I think
He's
I
gone
actually...
through the same hole, George.
Yeah. Really accurate.
Yeah, that's a 10-shot group now. Just leave it broken and we'll go forward. It's unloaded, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. That's a 10-shot group. I've shot 5, George has shot 5, so it's it's shooting quite tight. It's not bad. Yeah, you pleased with it?
You're very pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.